Hi everyone. In this video we're going to discuss the topic of running scripts. We'll take a look at several options here, including running scripts from Eggplant Functional, from the command line, and finally from Eggplant Manager. The fuller picture we appeal to is one in which we have several modular test components that we can combine to achieve several automation workflows. In a later video we discuss how our choices about running scripts impacts our results. So in this video, we'll lay out the basics of running scripts and tests, and then in another video, we'll discuss results reporting. In Eggplant Functional, the first thing we'll take a look at is running scripts from the GUI. Following that, we'll take a brief look at running scripts with schedules in Eggplant Functional, and finally we'll discuss table-driven or keyword-driven testing. So let's get started. Here's an example suite with several different test components. In this case, you can see that our test components are the different test scripts named script 1, script 2, and script 3. We can run any of these scripts by selecting one in the suite window and then by using the Run Script button or the Run Selection button. As we've previously learned in the modularization and parameterization video, beyond calling each script directly, it's possible to run scripts by calling them from other scripts. In our example master scripts, we have just that setup in place. As we see here, there are several ways to call test components with the master subscript setup. A master script might call these components as commands themselves, with the run command, or even with the run with new results command. Remember, when we use the run with new results command, separate results will be generated for the script we're calling. So separate results will exist for master, script 1, script 2, and script 3 after master is finished executing. This is different than when we simply use run or call a script as a command. In those cases, we don't get any separate results generated. This difference is a glimpse into how the different approaches to scripting will affect the generation of test results. And again, we'll leave the details of results reporting to a later video. Let's take a look at our other master script example. When using a master script, oftentimes repeat loops serve as convenient control structures for running scripts. For instance, you might run a script or a set of scripts a specified number of times, which is shown at the top of this script. You can also choose to repeat for a certain duration or until some condition is met. Still further, repeat loops can also be used to iterate through a list of test scripts, running each test script one at a time. An example of this is shown at the bottom of our example master script. What you'll find is that there's a great deal of flexibility available to you when using master scripts. For instance, they're often a convenient place to implement customized error handling or customized results generation. Within Eggplant Functional, there's also the option of using schedules to run scripts. Let's take a quick look at running scripts with schedules, and then we'll discuss table-driven testing. Here's a simple example schedule in Eggplant Functional. The reasons for using schedules are somewhat similar to the reasons for using a master script. One of the primary benefits we gain from either approach is that we can range a set of scripts to run in a linear fashion. In this schedule, there are 3 active scripts and 1 disabled script. Notice that we can enable and disable scripts by using the checkboxes in the Run column of the table. Also notice that script 2 is indented under script 1. This indentation indicates that we've set a dependency for script 2. This means that script 2 will run only if script 1 is successful. In the previous run of this schedule, script 1 failed, and so script 2 was never called. There are other helpful controls that are available directly through the suite window. You can add connection details for a schedule. There is a repeat field to execute several iterations of your schedule. And finally, you can use the Add button to add scripts to the schedule and simply drag and drop the scripts in the schedule to change their order. Alright, so let's move on to the next topic of this video, running tables in Eggplant Functional. So in addition to scripts, in Eggplant Functional you can also build and run tables for testing. This approach is especially ideal for customers who are looking to do keyword-driven or table-driven testing. Here again, it's helpful to recall our picture of having several test components that are ready to be combined into an automation workflow. This is exactly what table-driven testing allows us to see, right on the face of the test. Each step of the table is a test component, and the test proceeds in a linear fashion from the execution of earlier to later steps. If you're looking to run tables in Eggplant Functional, there are some important points to keep in mind. The first thing to keep in mind is that when you execute a table, you won't see a run window appear. Rather, for live feedback during test execution, the table interface provides some helpful information. For example, for a table step involving some comparison validation, we'll see that green denotes pass for the step and red denotes fail. Also, you should note that by default, the lines of the table run independently. So if step 2 of our table fails, then the test will continue with execution on step 3, then step 4, and so on until the test executes in full. Right-clicking on a table step will display various table options that are open to you. Here you can insert, delete, and disable table rows, clear results, and also reset any arguments or expected values in the table. Finally, you have the option to insert a reference to a specific line to use the result of that line as an argument. At this point, we're going to discuss running scripts outside of Eggplant Functional. First, we'll take a look at running scripts from the command line, and then we'll finish up with the discussion of running scripts from Eggplant Manager. Here are some example command line calls to Eggplant Functional. The first thing to realize is that all of the test resources we've looked at, our single scripts, our master scripts, schedules, and tables in Eggplant Functional, all of these can be called and executed from the command line. There are two different commands that can be used to run tests from the command line. They are the run script command and the eggplant command. Here the top example calls a single Eggplant Functional test script with the run script command, and the bottom example calls a master script with the eggplant command. The difference between the run script and the eggplant command is that the eggplant command will launch the Eggplant Functional GUI, while the run script command will not. These next examples show how parameters and command line options can be set. You can pass parameters to the last script you're running. To pass parameters, after the last script, include the params flag, followed by the parameter values. Each parameter is passed as a text string. So in this example, the string sut1 is being passed to my master script as a parameter. There are several command line options that can be set as well. Here we've specified the connection information for our set. Be sure to check out all of the other command line options on docs.testplant.com. Eggplant Manager is a browser-based test management system that gives you a single point of control for Eggplant Functional suites. You can define tests, schedule execution of multiple instances of those tests, and collect and analyze results in one central location. Eggplant Manager provides you the easiest way to run multiple tests or instances of a test simultaneously against different devices. Here's an example test in Eggplant Manager. There are several ways that we might execute this test. First, we have the option of executing the test immediately or on demand. To do this, we simply need to click the Execute Now button. Second, we have the option of creating a schedule to execute this test. In Eggplant Manager, Run At schedules allow you to choose a specific date and time to execute the test. Run Every schedules allow you to execute the test periodically, and cron schedules allow you to run cron-style tests. Finally, there's also the option of using a test URL to execute this test from Eggplant Manager. To do this, click the Trigger a Test URL button, and Eggplant Manager will generate a URL that you can use to execute this test. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out a later video about results reporting to determine which approach to running tests is best for you.